We call Mherhean,
Us.
and we're doing the extract of Do the Right Thing.
I mainly focus on analyzing the first part of the extract. Dialogue in here is not only to connect the storyline, it adds an important element to describe the plot development. Also, during their conversation, they use lots of English slangs, emphasize their emotions, and reflect their personalities. The extra start with a phone call between Mookie and his girlfriend Tina. The conversation reflects Mookie spends much more time on working to earn money instead of stay with Tina, and she wants Mookie to be more responsible to their family. In addition, this point connects with the end of the movie to some extent. She succeeds because the last thing is Mookie get the money from the boss and go home. Their pace of speeches is totally different. Tina speaks quickly and angry, but Mookie talks slowly and helplessly. At the same time, Mookie needs to talk with boss and the other staffs of the pizza shop, knowing that it's very busy challenges the social status of sales. This scene uses a close-up shot focused on Mookie's expression, especially facial expression, to reflect his mental activities. Then move on to the simple conversation between Mookie and other members of pizza shop. It shows Mookie doesn't fit into with the pizza shop because it is a family business, and the money talk is another point here. Through other workers' attitude towards Mookie, it reflects Mookie's social status. He finds this job difficult. In this scene, the movie used a pan shot and a zoom in and reflects Pino's anger, and the both shot was shot from the lower angle to show both power and the rude attitude. Another big part is the dialogue between Mookie and Pino. There is a painting on the wall is about Italian history and architecture, and the music box down there is a symbol of American African. This shows a relevance between Mookie and Pino. American African and the dark Italian are similar, and Mookie tries to convince Pino that he also has the curly hair, so shouldn't be racist towards African American. The music box between them also indicates the distance between them physically and mentally. People they mentioned includes Magic Johnson, a Los Angeles player, Eddie Murphy, an American actor, Prince, American rock star. Pino only respect them but disrespect other American African, especially Jesse Johnson, one civil rights activist, and other leaders of American African with no reasons. Dark Italian is a tricky word here. When Mookie points out that Pino is a dark Italian, Pino is angry and serious to this word because he knows the guilty of his identity. And this scene was shot from medium shot to close-up shot. Evidence of the shots explain that Pino's hair is kinkier than Mookie's point out to his hair, stating that he is a dark Italian. This can indicate that Mookie is attempting to show Pino that he is just like him, so he shouldn't be racist. The light of pizza shop for this whole part is natural, with warm color tone and make a contrast with the dialogue.
A handheld pan up from a medium long shot to a medium close-up, from Mookie in 318 to 357 to Pino, starts off with an aside to the audience about the theme of humanity in society that talks back to one another on the cultural differences. They talk to the audience about the lack of bond and respect society has towards other cultures. This then breaks the fourth wall that has an impact to racism, showing an authority towards the audience. The editing in Do the Right Thing, section 318 to 428, was cut in a pattern where white folks are considered to be the start of breaking that equality and respect that causes all of the problems Asians in America are facing. The background gives hints into which character comes next in the background as it enhances the character's stereotypes. For example, Pino as the Italian Christian, In this scene, it is the fight between the Asians and the whites, where later in the scene, bugging out, yells at Sal to have black folks in the Walk of Fame, which started the war where African Americans fight back about their rights in their neighborhood. Spike Lee shows this to the audience by having the characters say their lines in a poetic slang form. In the scene where Mookie and his friends has their own handshakes, it shows them to be a tight family that gives the audience a taste of what African people are like to one another and other people, referencing from Martin Luther's quote, "At the end of the movie, violence is immoral, it thrives on hatred rather than love," tells the audience as an African, they are good people who works hard, shows respect, and they care. But ever since the 16th century, when Africans were taken from their homeland and used as slaves, they had enough of the violence, disrespect, and hate white folks have for them. On Malcolm X's quote, "To preserve the right to do what is necessary to bring an end to the situation is their fight to redemption of not even calling it violence when it's self-defense, is for Africans' rights to live in an equal society." At the end of the fight, Mr. Senior Love Daddy comes into a still shot, bringing back positivity about not creating violence with one another. Like Martin Luther King, the reason why that was added made a point to the white audiences for an equal society. In the setting of the background on the black banner with stars symbolizes what Senior wants to stop, which is the war that happens at night. In 4:42 to 5:39, Mookie walks into the scene twice that points out gentrification, where the whites have most of the income than the blacks. This shows through dialogue when Mookie asks for his money during work and Sal says after work makes him on top of the hierarchy. Even if Sal thinks he and Mookie has a tight relationship, Mookie hated Sal from the start. It shows from the beginning through his actions when Mookie was late to work. The reason for it was because Sal had a thing for his sister Jade when she came into Sal's pizza. When Mookie steps on Lana's drawing scene, 3:39, 5:47, it is him stabbing the back of the culture by working as a slave to the white man Sal. It shows this in the scene when Buggin got kicked out of Sal's from Mookie. Mookie does this so he can get paid in order to support his family. Lana and her drawing is a representation of intergenerational. It is through the kids that Mookie foreshadows what might happen in the future if the violence between the white and the black is not resolved. Coming back to Nicole's part, the card that Mookie has on his wrist is shown. It travels everywhere with him throughout the film, and where the card is shown symbolizes to the audience to pay attention to the problem the character discusses about. 5:47 to 7:30 is a tracking shot from the side of Radio Rayham to seeing it from Mookie's point of view, but still talking to the audience. It is similar to the Night of the Hunter when the Reverend Harry Powell talked about the left and the right hand, referencing from the Old Testament, Genesis chapter 4 verses 4 to 26, where it was Cain who killed his brother Abel, and now on earth has to live through the pain as it continues throughout his future generations. It never ends, showing no change to the problem, which defines the word static. This shows at the end when the war of Sal's business is over and it goes back to the reality, like it didn't mean a thing. The theme of it is the religion in Christianity in scene 3:39, where a picture of the Pope symbolizes the hate and love speech. The story represents the evil taking over, committing the crime which destroys the humanity of society when Sal's Pizza was destroyed and Radio Rayham died in the hands of the white policeman. In the scene where Powell smacks the mother, Willa Harper, with love, is the relationship he has with her destroyed by Powell being the enemy. Plus the hate hand going into the light with the love is in the ground triumphs hate winning the battle. That was when Mookie chose hate when he smashed Sal's place to make a point that Africans won this fight. Instead of not giving into hate like Martin Luther suggested, that is similar to D. Mayer in the scene, the crowd has to live with the pain of the war they created. It implies back to the Bible, when the evil snake, being the whites, tells Africans what to do, taunting them to the point they listen. The outcome of it caused destructions to the future that the next generation will have to face.
Fight the power!
Turn it
Fight
off!
the power!
Turn it off! I'm trying to do my extract
Fight
here.
the power!
Turn it off.
So in this extract, what we see is Radio Raheem coming in with his boombox playing Fight the Power. Fight the Power is known for generations as this empowerment music. Radio Raheem comes in strong, he comes in with determination, and the camera angles are quite elevated when they're showing Radio Raheem. It's a close-up, so it's around here, but when it's shooting him, it's showing him very elevated. It shows that this is powerful, the position that he's showing is trying to cause a ruckus, and also he's not going to take any shit. Whereas when they show Sal, whose pizza store we're in, he happens to be a bit more taken aback, and we see the camera angle coming from above, whereas with Radio Raheem it's coming from straight on. Sal is a bit frustrated, he's annoyed. The dialogue in this scene can almost show the distaste and discrimination as well in this scene of Sal towards Radio Raheem. He doesn't like his music, he says there's no rap allowed in this, but this could also be a sign of maybe not wanting blacks in his store or other racism tropes. We further then move on to the scene where there's a beautiful staircase and Mookie is delivering pizza. In this scene we see a small child sitting on the stairs and he's playing with his car. We've mentioned the car before, this is a symbol for things to come. Now, while the child is sitting on the stairs, we see a woman just walk over him. This could symbolize that the community is isolating or doesn't look after children or is not actually focusing on the youth of their community because they have so many other problems. We then move on and there's a tracking shot. We see Mookie walk around and he's walking and he's walking and he's walking, and as he's walking, people are coming up to him and mentioning things. They're saying, you know, do you have a job? Do you have money? Most of the people that we see are black. So we can tell that we're in a location where it's an African American community. What we can also see by the communication and the dialogue while Mookie is walking and we have the tracking shot is that this is a tight-knit community and people look after each other. And this is symbolized and shown when we see Mookie giving charity to a person with disabilities. Even though Mookie's not rich himself, he's giving the money. As we see him giving the money, Mookie's entering his house. He's walking upstairs and we see a tracking shot as well. As he's walking upstairs, this could probably signify that you feel empowered and elevated when you help your own community and help your own brothers and sisters. So I feel like maybe here Stan Lee is trying to show that black people need to empower themselves to fight racism and work inside rather than trying to change the outside. We see Mookie going into his house, and here we can tell that the location and the decor of the room is of a female because of the colors. Historically, pink is associated with femininity. We also see Mookie's sister in the room. Jade is actually quite classy. She isn't wearing the streetwear that we normally see in the other scenes with the young people. We see her wearing a dress, which maybe shows the way that she may think and the language that she uses. In this scene, she's very responsible. Also, her dialogue is actually quite elevated. She's actually giving advice to Mookie, and we see the way that Mookie is sitting down, he's kind of crouched down on his bed. There are two birds in the background, and those birds basically could show connection, family. Also, it could be symbolism for freedom. We see the two birds as being free. Maybe again, through family, there is freedom. And it also harps back to fight the power, again, associating itself with freedom.
Fight the power! Fight the power.